Good evening and welcome to the Planning Board, Tuesday, February 17th. First order of business, we want to go over the minutes from the last meeting that was held on January 20th, 26th.
Motion to approve is submitted.
A second.
Okay, all in favor?
We have to roll call.
Roll call.
Ms. Babe's on the,
He's on
Oh,
Zoom.
yeah. Thank you.
yes.
Yes.
Yes. And yes?
Yes,
Okay, that's good.
yes.
Okay, second order of business, we have 81P plan for 100 Medway Road.
Sure, so this is the Catholic Bishop Church of Worcester is trying to sell the parcel in the middle, Lot B, and in order to do so, they had to carve off that piece of driveway, but in doing so, they reduced the number of frontage on the main parcel by 6 feet. And they had a variance in December, but it had to get amended, and it was recently amended in January, recorded February 10th. So this one is okay for us to endorse, as the variance has depicted its reduced frontage.
Okay.
I'm sorry, the last part again, Matt, please?
Yeah, the variance allowed it to have reduced frontage at 194 feet of the
Okay,
allowed
so
200.
the 81P matches, corresponds to the variance?
It does.
Thank you.
Motion to have town planner sign the 81P.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Roll call.
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Babe?
Aye,
Okay, aye. So, 5 in favor. Third order of business, we have a site plan application at 23 Silver Hill Road for an additional dwelling unit.
Hi everyone, Adam Hunt with Garrier and Hellman on behalf of the client. Project is for an existing building to be converted to an accessory dwelling unit. We had gotten approval from the sewer department for the force main connection to the existing manhole on Claridge Street. We've also submitted to conservation a request for determination of applicability, so we'll be meeting with them. But we're providing the designated parking space. We also have the first floor, or the floor plan. I have that there. Floor plan here. We're under the 900 square feet. And
Is this, I can't see from here, is this, that's proposed walkway?
this is to be eliminated, this portion of the walkway here. This is all existing walk. He's removing this portion here.
Why?
I'm not sure exactly. To be honest, I just knew from early on that you wanted to get rid of that portion. Not sure. And we had initially intended to connect the water from the existing house, but we can, based on the comments I've seen, can provide an independent connection for that if needed. That's pretty much it.
So is there no connection, no walkway connection from,
No, there isn't.
Looks like the sewer force main is going to go under that walkway, so that's probably why they're going to remove it. Is that right?
I don't know if he, I mean, I think that was definitely something early on that was worked out, but I think he may have planned even before that to remove it, but either way, it did work out to not have to go under the walk. But I don't know honestly what his initial reasoning for removing that portion was.
Is there, so how are they going to access that? Is there a driveway there?
Just a fresh walk. I mean, the parking is just at the existing drive.
Okay. Okay, so we added the additional space
No, we designated it. There's nothing.
That's not- yeah,
It's already there.
That's the existing
It's all
driveway.
paved in front of
Basically,
the,
that's a three-car garage.
Yeah.
Right, and the bay all the way to the right has the ADU parking spot.
Okay.
In front of the third bay. And again, like you, there's no walkway going from there. You know, unfortunately, I don't think there's a requirement in our zoning bylaws for that, but I make that same type of
It's like
concern,
80 feet.
right? Right, that
Yeah.
you,
Using the pen as a measuring tool, the walk is about
Right.
80 feet.
Yep.
That's a bit of a hike.
yeah. From my side of it too, I was more concerned from the fire department just having access, you know, God forbid that they need to have, to gurney someone out from there. You know, now you're going across terrain and who knows
No.
what parts. No, right, exactly. So I certainly have concerns with that. Sorry, Mr. Chair, if you mind. Certainly have concerns with that. I mean, I understand that you're within the offsets
Pretty flat.
in that part,
Yeah.
but there's certainly some concerns there that they're creating what was an existing structure into the ADU, which was formerly an apartment, and just the kind of the egress back and forth to it. So, just my 2 cents.
Any other comments? Joe, do you have anything?
no, I don't think I mean,
Yeah.
if the building inspector, there may be building code issues, but there's nothing that we can, a little strange not having a walkway out there, but
We may
I
not
don't know if
like
there's
it.
anything in our bylaw that precludes it or not,
Yeah.
but the building code may.
The only other thing I would say, and just whether or not it's a stop block for us, is just that, you know, the water department does say that they're looking for a dedicated line. That dedicated line isn't shown here yet on the site plan, so I do have concerns with approving a site plan without all the approved or infrastructure on here.
I think that's something that is pretty easy to have, yeah, conditionally approve.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we keep going down that road of conditional improvements, and I get worried about that. Like, I'd rather our applicants, nothing against you, I'd rather our applicants come in with a set of plans that reflects all of the agency's comments. So right now, I'm.
I don't know
you
when,
yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know when they got the comments, but sometimes they don't get
Yeah.
them in time to.
I get it, yeah.
Just,
Yep,
if they've had them for some time, then certainly I understand that.
yep.
Make a motion to approve the ADU, subject to the addition of the water line as directed by the water company.
I'll second again.
Okay. Just roll call vote.
Aye.
Aye.
I'm a no.
Dave?
Aye. Aye.
4 in favor, 1 opposed. Okay, we have, item 4, we have an amendment to site plan 10 to 12 Beach Street.
I'll get that out to you tomorrow.
This is the one with the old registry.
Yes.
The old
The old
registry.
registry.
Oh, yeah.
Babe, can you see that? Can I ask him if he can see that?
Babe, can you see the plans?
Yes.
So the applicant requests an amendment to the site plan review for new religious use and existing multiple-use property located at 10 to 12 Beach Street.
Here to present.
Who submitted that?
The gentleman's name, but I emailed him.
Yes, Elliot.
several times.
Okay.
Submitted by Bruno Oliveri.
I'm sorry, Matt?
Is the applicant here?
No.
Matt, I'm sorry, I missed what you said.
Just curious if the applicant's here. and
Yeah,
if
no,
they're
before
not
that
here.
about, I mumbled, had we heard from sewer, I thought you said something in response.
I do not know. Sewer responded, they responded directly to Mr. Manini. But if the applicant's not here, then nothing we can do.
We do have a letter from the Milford Water Department.
Yeah.
Nothing from fire department.
They see no conflict.
I got my letters late from the fire department. They didn't see any conflicts with this. Okay.
He said he got it late, probably.
Oh, I see.
But the
I
concern,
talked to the sewer today. Unless there's gonna be a kitchen, this we gonna be put in, there's no change.
There very easily could be a kitchen. A lot of these smaller
Right.
churches, like, and I say smaller comparatively to,
Sacred Heart?
yes, there could be a kitchen, so that's definitely something that we should confirm.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of extra rooms on the outside that, and I don't think it's out of the realm for them to have food in there. The other thing that is my primary concern is the parking calculations are based on the number of seats. And we've historically not allowed that where it's not like a pew, like a immovable seat. Like this appears to just be, you know, folding chairs or whatever. And so if you only have folding chairs, then we've typically done the parking by the largest assembly area, which is what the regulations call for. So in this case, I haven't done the math, but I'm assuming that it would require them to you know, build a permanent wall somewhere to make this largest one smaller.
To make what?
To make the largest assembly area smaller so that they can meet the parking calculations.
Basically limiting them to that 100 people that they've proposed for seats.
Is there enough units to request a reduction,
there's,
different usage?
they're showing 69 spaces using the 100 seats or the assembly area of 3,900 square feet, which they have yet to confirm. I was supposed to get that today, I did not. But there are 81 spaces available and 69 shown. 69 required. So there's, give or take, there's 12 more spaces that they could use if that square footage is off.
You're saying the more than
I
5
could ask for the
units.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know, I forget how many units there are in the other building.
There's at
They've laid them
least
all-
4.
They've laid them all out in the chart. It's all right there in the parking chart.
Here.
Yes.
How many? Looking at the picture, the overview, looks like there's around 40.
No, I'm talking about usages in the building, in that one-story building, there's the pizza place.
Right, that's what I'm
I forget else
saying,
is there.
Yep. There's a pizza, tattoo parlor, barber shop, and an insurance
So there's
office.
4, this would be 5, so they could request the, which to me, out of all the ones that we've had, this probably makes sense considering churches usually don't meet on a Monday at 12 o'clock in the morning, and so reduction of the total parking would be, I mean, I wouldn't have an issue with, I don't know if I'd ever go as high as we ever went at Stop and Shop again, but I mean, certainly a reduction in parking is something that they could do. So I think there's a way for them getting here without having to necessarily put up that wall or whatever based on, have them calculate it the way you're saying, Liz, but I think they can get there, if they do request the the reduction.
It sounds
But those
like,
need to be cleared
right.
with them, so obviously we need to have the applicant come in and talk to staff.
Okay.
I don't think there's much, I mean, if they work through the parking, I don't know that there's much else
And
that we would have yeah, and they'll have to define whether they're gonna put a kitchen in there. Those would be the two issues that need to get cleared up before we could approve it. With that, I'll make a recommendation that we continue this to the next meeting.
second. Routine, huh?
Open for discussion, I guess. Babe, do you have any comments?
Just for my information, this is a rental, so it doesn't take it off the tax rolls, via the church.
Right, that's correct, because they're renting space.
Okay. Okay, that's all, the only comment I had.
Okay. So, so we have a proposal to move it to the
Motion
next
to
meeting?
continue to the next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, and can we add, and ask, request that the applicant be present? I'm sure Matt would have done that anyway. but
I sent them the agenda multiple times.
Good grief.
Okay, roll call vote.
Aye.
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 Babe?
Aye.
Aye. 5 in favor. So that'll be at the next meeting?
Good idea.
Okay. The next order of business, we have a site plan application at 225 West Street. Please.
Good evening. My name's Peter Lavoy. I work for D&L Design Group, and we're located in Milford, Mass. I'm here tonight representing Alpine Place LLC. They're located out of Franklin, Mass. So we have an existing lot on 140. 140 runs along the bottom of the page here. Basically, the colored lot in the back is our lot. It's basically vacant. It does have an existing detention basin in this location here, but the rest of the lot is undisturbed. There is a little bit of a cleared area here. Basically, the lot slopes from the back of the lot towards Route 140. The address of this parcel here is 225. There is an existing office building in the front, which is 215. So basically, how we're going to access the lot is we're going to access the existing curb cut that's there now. We're not going to add any curb cuts to Route 140. We have an existing access and utility easement over that lot currently, so we're going to use that access and utility easement just for access. So driveway comes up, you have a proposed 7,200 square foot building, 2 stories, so 3,600 on the lower level and then 3,600 on the upper level. Basically, this is set up as you drive up to this parking area, which will have 11 parking spaces and 1 handicap. It will access the offices at the top of the structure on the 2nd floor. So this is kind of like a drive under. This walkway is accessible for handicap. So then you come down to the lower level, you'll have garage bays along the bottom, and you'll have access to those garage bays to the lower level. The building will have floor drains, so we have a proposed holding tank in the back. Proposed dumpster is in this location here with an additional 4 parking spaces, so we have a total of 15 parking spaces. We only require 11. The building will be serviced by a private water, so we have a proposed well in this location here. There's no water on Route 140. But there is water in this development back here. Building will be serviced by town sewer. We'll tie in, there's an existing cross-country sewer line that comes through here through an existing easement. We're going to tie into that sewer line, and that goes to Hopedale. Just to let everybody know, that goes to Hopedale, doesn't go to Milford. So we are talking with the Hopedale Sewer Department. Proposed drainage, I have 2 catch basins here, so no runoff will come onto this parcel. Then it comes down this drain line. This is a low point in the back here. So we have a double catch basin here, and then that sends it off to a storm scepter, which will treat the runoff that's generated in the parking lot, and then that will go into this underground basin in this location here, and then that will mitigate the storm events and just discharge out into this area that will trickle down to the existing basin. So when I did my drainage analysis, I didn't want to analyze the whole development above, so I basically analyzed this area here, so I'm treating everything on my site. Proposed roof will be discharged into this little rain garden in the front, which has emergency overflow, and then that'll also, if it does fill up, it'll discharge out into here and then just go down the slope. I did meet with the fire department this morning. This afternoon. I met with the chief. He had a couple comments. I did provide him with truck turning simulation. The original truck that he wanted me, the ladder truck, would not work. It would not make the turn, so he gave me his other vehicle that it's a smaller fire truck that does work and come up. And the reason why he let me use the smaller truck is because we have fire hydrant in this location here, which is 198 feet to the building, so they could access it through the back area here. We also have another fire hydrant over here, which is 243 feet away. And then the last fire hydrant is located right here, which is another 350 from the site. We have filed with conservation because we're working within the 100-foot buffer, and we're also filling this small little finger projection right here. Basically, the runoff comes down, and there was a channel dug here, so that kind of was, over time, that created wetlands. So, but we are accessing to this point there. I think that's it. So,
Just want to follow up on the fire chief, because I did speak with him after. And he was fine with the engine being able to get up there. The ladder truck can get up there, but would have to do like a loop-de-loop over on the
Sure, right.
on the other and come around. So
right, yeah, I had prepared a fire truck for the truck turning simulation for the ladder truck, but when I put the circle here for the radius, it didn't work. So I tried to figure out a different way. So another way would be if he came up, wrapped around, and then went. It would work that way. But, you know, there is no right-of-way over here for him to access or to turn around it. But, I mean, I guess you're the fire department. You can do whatever you want. So.
The other thing is over here approximately, our GIS, we have information from the water department's model of the system. It's not 100% accurate. A lot of the locations, because they use it for a different purpose, but it did show a line coming out from the water main that goes through here right to the property line. So that's just something that I think Chief Nelson would like to see investigated to see if it really is there, because Chief Nelson would certainly prefer to have a hydrant closer to the building, rather than having, basically what he said is they'd have to run the hose down here and around and up is the way that they would probably do it. So they would prefer, and I assume that if there is a line, that you would eliminate the well and
Correct.
and tie into the town water.
Yep.
So just something that should be looked at. I did look at the drainage. I had a few concerns, but my biggest concern is that we don't have soil testing. So I can't, and especially where there's, I believe, pretty high groundwater here and quite possibly ledge.
Good combination.
I think it's important for us to have the soil evaluation done before we approve it. Once in a while, we do it subject to confirmation if we have a good idea, but in this case, I don't think we do, so.
I mean, I thought we did soil testing, I could not find it, though. So, but I'll look.
Yeah, I mean, if you find it.
Yeah, I'll look, and then,
If you find it, then I wasn't out there to witness it.
oh, you need to witness for stormwater?
Yes.
Just a comment, it looks like a very steep site, but then I do see that they're, you know, because the contours are so close together, but I see they're 1-foot contours.
Hate 1-foot contours.
Yeah, it's very-
Don't do 1-foot contours.
It's so deceiving. It looks very steep, but, and
Well,
it
it
certainly
is-
is
it is
somewhat.
steep.
It is,
Yeah,
it is.
it certainly is
It's about,
somewhat, but.
it's around 10% if I did it,
Yeah.
I measured it a while ago, so. But just in the driveway area here.
Yeah, it's just right here, and then this was graded out as 80, for ADA accessible, and then this is flat right here. It's just that one, just to get up to that parking area.
What was the basin constructed for originally? Why is that there?
Oh, so that was actually one of my other comments for the stormwater. It's for this site currently goes to, actually even this,
Well, all this whole area up here, all this drainage comes down,
No.
and then discharges right here.
some,
There's a 24-inch pipe.
not all of it, because there's an outlet over here.
Yeah, that is for,
Alright, over here.
that's for that area there. And then there's one,
Oh, okay.
there's a drop, what do you call it, an area drain here that discharges, but this drain line
Oh, okay.
and these catch basins, all this comes right in this location. So this was designed probably for that development up there as well as this.
So, do we have deeds of records for those sites? I mean, we need a deed of record for the site in front to show that we have an easement, an access easement to the back site.
Yep,
And
yep.
then we need
You have the deed reference, though?
Yeah, we have the reference
Oh,
on the
okay.
plan.
yeah, and I'd like to see a copy of the deed that indicates what it specifically says we have access, what the ability is.
Okay.
Just so it says, you know, for whatever purposes, we need to make sure that it's not restrained in any way, let's say.
Yeah, we're not doing any regrading, so this whole paved area is staying the same until we get to the curb line.
It's more, I
And it's
think,
more for access.
No, I
you
got
know,
it.
is it for access
Yeah.
or utility or?
Yeah.
or- Yeah,
It's an access and utility easement.
Yep.
says the plan.
I've seen it.
Oh, okay.
There is a reference on the
And
plan.
then in your deed, we need to make sure that if there's drainage coming from that site, we need to make sure that in the deed for the site that you have, that they have access. We want to make sure, it should be there already, that they have access for their drainage to go into your detention basin.
Okay.
So that's why we'll need copies of both deeds.
So my thought was if there isn't,
It has to be put in.
can you force? My other thought was to possibly just have them include maintenance of this of this existing detention basin as part of their stormwater requirements.
'cause their overflow is going into it.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's true.
I wouldn't think they'd want to do that, but
Well, those are all the questions that need to be answered by looking at what's actually in the deed. I don't know what the
Yes.
answer is at the end of the day, but those are all the issues that, once we see it, we can make a judgment as to, is this covered? What happens in this case? You know, things like that. We've got to make sure that somebody is maintaining the basin, which party is doing it, how is it being shared, and how do we, if the town needs to go in, who do we contact to get in? Those types of things will need to be spelled out in the deed.
Okay.
So that's what we've been, you know, that's what I'm looking for in that. And then we should get a letter. I mean, you went through with the chief, to make sure he sends a letter going forward to do that. And then obviously you're gonna need to get, I agree, because that area is pretty tough. You're gonna need to get testing, soil testing, to define that system up there.
yeah. But he wrote that letter, I think, we don't yet know if that line to the,
Oh, I see. And could we ask the chief to date his letters? I think we've had a couple.
Yeah, there is no date.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Well, once the weather clears a little bit, can the water company go up and say, I would assume they would have put a valve on that line if it exists.
I would expect, so.
So hopefully we can at least find a gate up there somewhere.
They should have some. This just came up this afternoon, so I didn't get a chance to.
Yeah. I'm just thinking it might be buried in the snow right now, but
All right. One more on this one?
yeah, possibly. I don't have anything else.
Babe, do you have any comments?
Yes, the sewer department is denying this. They have not received a full set of plans, and that's part of their regulations. They're supposed to receive a full set of plans, and they called me today, and they're denying it. So I would say that you should at least continue it until it gets straightened out. Even though it's going to Hopedale, it still goes through the Milford Sewer Department and the Milford Sewer Permit.
Interesting.
I provided the sewer department with a reduced set, but I guess that their regulations said that they need a full set.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's, I just learned that.
Okay, I can drop one off.
Yeah, you're gonna, and, I mean, at approval, you're gonna need
A
their
letter from
approval
them.
and Hopedale, a letter from Hopedale
Yeah.
indicating that they're gonna accept it too.
Okay, Chris?
Dave, you good?
Yeah, it's the
Thank you.
the biggest thing was the sewer, taking care of the sewer.
Just a couple questions. What's the nature of the business that's going in there?
It's a contractor's yard, so it'll be like offices and warehouse underneath.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure contractor's yard if it dealt with vehicles with trailers and that sort, just again to make that turn from 140 and doing that.
Yeah, I was talking to the chief. I would think anyone who was going back there will come this way and in. The chief, he can't go into Hopedale to make, so I was.
Right, yeah, not even the fire apparatus, but just general
Yeah.
work, construction vehicles, whatever's going in there, if they're a vehicle with a trailer on it, they're never making that turn.
I don't foresee that being the kind of, I
I just-
understood, I'm just
yeah.
saying that if I was driving a trailer, I would not be happy about driving in there and then
Right.
having to back out.
But it's storing materials, so now if that truck driver has to go beyond 140, now what? Now where's he turning around? So I'm just making that point. A little bit leery
A
about
trailer
that.
wouldn't make the hill.
Yeah. So, and to that point then, why not make a new curb cut and have direct access down that lower right-hand corner?
Yeah.
It's all wetlands. These are all wetlands.
And
And we don't,
Right there.
we don't have access to do anything here. The right-of-way is just, the right-of-way easement is just over the driveway. That's it. It doesn't go anywhere else.
I don't
There-
think you couldn't get there anyways, Chris, it's too steep.
From that over
From
on,
140 up to the level of that parking lot is.
right, it's
there's a
just
big
too much
elevation difference
elevation,
there.
right. Again, that hard U-turn right there coming
Yeah.
off of 140 scares me, just, you're going downhill, so whatever vehicle's gonna be making that right turn into there is gonna have slowed down significantly, knowing they're gonna have to do that hard loop.
U-turn, basically.
Yeah.
But I honestly feel if anyone that knows, if that's their building, they know they can't make that U-turn. So that's why they would come down Dutchess Street and come up this way and just go in.
Right. An employee leaves to go to lunch and goes to Dairy Queen.
Okay.
Then what?
I mean, I think a car can make the turn.
With the
or a
trailer?
truck with a
I'm just
trailer.
saying in general. Sorry, I'm using it as a point of reference. Garden Pizza,
So,
Yeah.
all right? You've got plenty of parking lot there.
I also think that part of this is the confusion or gray area in what we call a contractor's yard.
Right.
And that's something I think, you guys should potentially look at from a regulatory standpoint, but this is not, I don't believe, intended to be something where they're gonna be storing any material outside. It's
Right.
gonna be like a large plumbing.
I mean, you have building elevations if you want to show,
Right.
them. Maybe that, it's more of a,
But to that point, if it's storing, pipe and everything else, right, those don't come in on small little trucks.
Right.
So again, I
They're not-
have concerns.
That's not the kind of thing that they typically put on, in a storage. Maybe they have one pipe that they put on the truck and that was left over from a job, but usually that stuff goes to the job site.
Not always.
I'm not saying always,
Right.
but this, as you can see, that doesn't look like a contractor's yard.
Yeah.
Right?
and then you have a picture of
Yeah.
the bay doors in the back. She has a picture of the back.
See the back? Oh,
And what would be stored inside those garage bays?
A van, if you're an electrician, a small electrician, you'd rent a section, park a van inside. I don't think there's going to be any heavy equipment. There's really no room to park a backhoe or anything like that on this site. There's no room to store a trailer.
When we come to it, obviously, it's not today, but can we limit the, per se, the usage of the types of things that'll be there? Just so we're, once we approve this, a contractor with trailers and all that can, and we've seen that before where they've been in
Yeah.
places they shouldn't be, but it's legal, and now it becomes that. What's being explained to us today for that use, I don't have an issue with, but tomorrow, when someone else tries to go in there, I would have an issue with it. So can we say as part of the approval that it's only this type of usage that we're allowing for?
I would say the use is regulated by the ZBA.
That's what I'm afraid of.
They're the ones who issued the special permit already for the use. So we're
And I
just governing
think
the site.
you probably have the ability to say no outdoor storage. I don't know if you,
equipment as well?
yeah.
Vehicular equipment?
That might at least get us out of the, no outdoor storage.
And do you, I remember we used to do, when a use came in that was different, that it had to do like an amended site plan. Yes. Do you do that?
But if it falls
So every
under
time,
contractor's yard, then there's no change
So,
in
yeah,
use.
it's a change in actual use by definition of the,
Zoning. Or
the zoning
in this case-
bylaws. So in this case, contractor yard is a contractor yard is a contractor yard. It won't come back to us. It doesn't have to go back to building department per
Which
se.
is part of the reason I think.
So yeah, I guess we could say no outdoor storage.
Right.
That would at least say you can't, guy's not gonna have a trailer sitting out there. I don't think we can do anything else, though.
Mr. Chair, so do we envision this being 6 rental units to 6 different
Possibly.
contractors?
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
Is there a second floor up there?
Yes.
Yes.
Second
yeah.
floor is.
Second
office
floor.
on
Office
the other
area,
side.
maybe?
Yeah, it's just the office.
Actually, Lauren said it.
Up there. If it was the other way around, it would be perfect.
Right.
What do you mean the other way around?
If the back wasn't towards the front.
Oh, it just works grade-wise.
No, I understand. It's
And that's
still,
why it's much prettier.
Very nice.
It's a beautiful building.
it won't look bad from the street, I don't think,
No, it
because the
won't.
other one is, the other building will block.
Yeah, I think you're only going to see if you see anything, it's going to be the top. And we do have proposed landscaping along the property line, like trees and some arborvitae's.
Oh, lighting, I see some lighting here on this, but there was, there was no, I don't know if you guys wanted to see any sort of, I didn't see any proposed lighting.
I would assume they're all building lights.
Yeah, it's just building lights, just for security.
Yeah, just having off of the,
Like-
same thing on the backside, I would think, or over the
Yeah,
garage
can we look at
doors.
the back again?
I will say I didn't look at the, yeah, they're shown here. I didn't look at the elevations.
Yeah, there's no parking lots.
Babe would like to speak, Joe, if you want to.
Babe, please, go ahead.
Yes, there should be a comment that there should be no storage outside of any materials also.
Great point.
Yes. Well, I think we're continuing.
Just to the town engineer, I know, yeah, we'll probably continue, just no concerns as far as, how this cutting into the land and the land basically above it on Asylum Street and coming down, so,
So
No real-
there are some drainage
right.
things that I want to address,
But
but
even just from the
constructability.
construction side, where you have, from the elevation change and that, and those grades, there's no concerns with, the torrential downpours of heavy runoff.
So one of my concerns is
Would that be the type of
during,
drainage?
yeah, it all sort of falls under the drainage. One of my concerns is during construction, because you're going to have steep slopes that you can get washout, and it would go directly into the existing building. So we
Right.
want to make sure we don't do that. There are under drains. There's an under drain proposed behind the parking lot, I think.
There is.
So that will help mitigate any water that's coming from underground, from getting out to the surface. There's also, I assume there's going to be an under drain or a foundation drain that I don't have, they'll have to show. And then the other thing, because Peter mentioned it, it is typical to just go to the lot line when you're doing the drainage analysis, but in this particular case, I would like to go up to
Right.
the edge of pave here.
And that was my next question, is so any concerns there with any type of undermining that would happen that would cause the infrastructure, the pavement to be compromised?
No,
Above, no.
So,
yeah.
We're like 45 feet away from that pavement.
But, and they're not gonna break into this slope at all.
okay.
All of their work.
I realize that, but now you're breaking into the slope below that, so now,
Yeah, not enough. If you're 45 feet,
Yeah,
if
right.
you're 45 feet away,
Yep.
you'd have to dig down, even if you dug down 20 feet, you're still not gonna undermine that slope.
no, I appreciate, yeah, you as the
But I
civil
am-
engineer, that's why I'm asking you that.
But I am, I do want to make sure we're including in the calculations the water that falls. So any of the water that falls on the pavement up here gets collected and goes down into this basin. But this water, any rainfall that falls in between the pavement and our site would technically go through this drainage system. So I just want to make sure that that's included. It's not a lot of water, but just one of the things that
And we did submit an erosion control and operation and maintenance plan for during and after construction, so.
that's one of the things that you'll have to look at the regulations, because it just needs to be a little more robust, thank you, for the stormwater permit, that's all.
Yep.
Mr. Manini?
Did you want to shut off Babe, Steve?
Babe.
I got another one.
Babe has
Babe?
another question.
Another question, babe?
No,
Oh,
why is the hand up?
Yeah, the hand's up.
I'm sorry, it just,
Just waving?
okay.
Hi.
I'm not used to this.
I was very surprised that you knew how to do that.
Any other questions?
One other thing is, about the trailers, there's no way a trailer would make that hill without getting hung up. So there's no way a trailer can get into that site.
I don't know. I believe, Joe, if you wanted to open it up, you don't.
Oh, yes, please.
Say your name and address for the record, please.
Lawrence Gelly, I'm the, right above there, how do you spell my name?
What's your address, Lawrence?
Yeah, that's me.
What's your address?
Address.
230 West Street.
Thank you.
Don't ask why it's an even number, but it is.
Oh, isn't that fun?
There's a few of those in Milford.
Couple of concerns. I have a private well, so when you mentioned you're going to drill a well, I don't know distance-wise. I know where the site is, but I don't know how far away it is from my well. My well is towards the back of my house, about there someplace.
It's quite,
It's quite a ways, probably
Okay,
a few,
300 feet.
yeah, a few hundred feet.
The other concern is, that's listed as a retention basin. There's no retention basin there. When that was built 40 years ago, there was water in that thing. That's dry now. There's still growing trees in it. And last year, we came to a meeting, I think with the Conservation Committee, and part of the deal then was that that'll be cleaned out and made a retention basin again. Is that still part of your plan? I'd like to
No.
talk to you later about it.
No, it's not. That's the reason why, so that's the reason why we stayed away from this, because we didn't want to impact you at all, because you,
All I'm saying is that I don't care about the building, that's fine.
yeah.
My concern was getting the water drain off it. If that's supposed to be a retention basin to collect water, that's what I assume a retention basin is, right?
Yeah.
Go look at it.
No, I know what it looks like. It looks like a wooded area.
Right.
I understand.
And at the last Conservation Committee meeting, they said part of the deal was that we make it a retention basin, again, you're gonna leave it the way it is.
Yeah, the reason why they were going to do that is because they were going to access here, and the previous town engineer wanted a drainage analysis for this. They weren't doing their own detention here.
I don't ever remember the access being on this side.
It was over there, yes.
Okay, my neighbor who came and sworn to see that.
If it doesn't work, we can't add
So
water
that
to it,
wouldn't work.
but we're not changing anything.
Oh, yeah, that was my only concern, with the water which you've answered, and if that was going to be cleaned out again like they talked at the other meeting, but
Yeah, they were going to reconfigure that.
So this still has to go in front of conservation.
The
So they'll-
26th.
Yeah, so the conservation, because that's actually, it shows as wetland flags on one of the,
it shows us
on
what?
one of the it's,
Yeah, there's a wetland line in there.
yeah, so I don't, conservation is gonna look at it to
Yeah.
determine whether it's a wetland or a detention basin. And then that was part of my, we need to know who's in charge of maintenance on that basin, and that certainly cleaning out the basin and making sure it's working as a basin is something that may be required. I don't think we're quite there yet.
Okay, that's fine, that's fine. Those are just my concerns.
Thank you.
Thank you.
question, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
For you to the applicant. What is that yellow strip south of that existing basin?
It's a riprap.
Okay, and that's proposed?
No, that's existing.
Okay, okay.
But it's probably like overgrown.
Oh, I see, okay.
What is it?
Riprap,
Riprap,
stone
stones.
rocks.
Stone wall.
Big stones.
Stones that they, when they constructed the basin, they put stones at the end of the outlet and then they,
That's above ground or below
well,
ground?
it's above.
Yeah.
But it's
It's probably
probably,
all overgrown right now, so
Yeah, probably can't even see it.
you probably can't see it.
Okay. So as mentioned, there is a stormwater permit required. You guys are going to put that together?
he gave me the
The application
application and
and
the
Oh.
fee, but there's gonna be other stuff.
Awesome.
But, yes. Do you want that? Instead of me?
That's all right, thank you.
Pass it down. Good match.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Any other
Looks like
comments?
we've got quite a bit. Yet to be-
My only, I guess, my comment in going from here is I'm not sure that, I mean, obviously continuous in 2 weeks makes no sense because there's no way that that's gonna, no one's gonna be taking out equipment out there to do testing for the
Soils.
soils. Do we have to give a date for when this is continued to, or can we?
I believe you do.
I think you do. I think you do.
It's supposed to get warm, so we could go out there.
Not in 2 weeks.
And then.
And then
then
You don't want to test it when the snow
And then
melts.
do all the other changes that have been mentioned here and actually have the analysis. If that's not,
Yeah.
if it isn't what you assumed, it's gonna take a little while to do that. So, I mean, there's no way I'm continuous in 2 weeks, because it isn't gonna be ready. And I don't wanna play the game of, oh, in 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks.
Yeah, I would say a month minimum.
The meeting would be March 17th.
Yeah. It's appropriately a lot of green on there.
There you go. Oh, why, is that?
St. Patrick's Day.
I was gonna say St. Valentine's. Move to continue to March 17th,
I might not be here.
unless Ms. Magnini is not here.
Tuesday?
As long as we have the letter.
It is Tuesday.
I'm sorry, I will always call you Magnini.
But that's how I, professionally.
Okay, motion's been made.
Second.
We have a second? Okay. Roll call.
Aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Dave?
Hey,
Aye. Okay.
Thank you.
I have one question.
Yes.
Does it have to go through the planning board approval before the Conservation Commission?
No,
Okay. Because the Conservation's
next week.
Next week.
the 26th.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's next week, right?
Yep.
No?
Okay.
Is it next week?
Yes, it is, yeah.
And I don't, actually, that's, I should have brought this up, because I don't foresee the Conservation Commission closing it based,
Got it.
because we have questions with the detention basin and the drainage, and they only meet once a month, so it wouldn't, not that you have to wait for Conservation to close it, but if you were going to, then that would put it to the end.
Be March 26th.
February has 28 days.
All the same in March.
Well, we'll see what conservation is at that point in time. We'll have gone through it once.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Thank you for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on.
Before you go.
Item 6, we got a ZBA referral, 3 Colonial Road.
So what we have here, if you recall, we did an 81P in January for this, where there was an encroachment, and that was rectified, so then that created a nonconformity for the structure. So now they're in front of the ZBA because they want to add up but now there's structures within the setback, because it's no longer encroaching, but it's now non-conforming. So they're trying to fill it up, and they provided us with plans, architectural renderings. It's not changing the footprint of the facility at all. So,
I got some pictures of the existing rooms. You want to see? Joe, you want to see them?
Sure.
Excuse me, I'm gonna. I want the imagine, Joe.
can I have your name and address?
Laura Val Santos. My grand, I'm sorry, my grandmother.
okay.
Here. 7 inches the height of the second floor ceiling.
Oh, okay.
I have a tape, picture of the tape.
See those pictures?
So the height of the buildings within the height limit of the zoning bylaw, footprint will not change, nonconformity is the side yard setback, as I mentioned. It's originally encroached, resolved by the 81P that we did in January.
Yep.
That's pretty much it. I recommend a favorable report.
Can I have big sets of the plans of the site plan?
Matt, I'm so sorry. Could you repeat what you just said?
Sure. So, he's trying to build another story onto his house. The height of the buildings within the height limit of the zoning bylaw. The footprint of the house will not change. The nonconformity is the new side yard setback that was originally an encroachment, which we resolved in the 81P last month. So now it's a nonconformity because it's within the side yard setback. That's why he's here for relief of section 3.1.3, extension of a nonconforming structure. Not changing the footprint, but
It's a gray area as to whether or not it even really requires it, but it's prudent to do it.
Belt
because
and suspenders kind of thing?
Yeah, you are technically, the two ways of looking at it are, you're not making it any worse, so you're not making the horizontal any worse, so you're not extending it. But you are vertically
Yes.
have more building
In violation of that setback.
so it's a gray area.
Yeah.
It is.
But it's,
We always treated it that way in the past.
yeah. Usually it's not a problem it's more of a formality to go through this.
Yeah, that's my height, yeah. 7, and one of the
Holy
pictures
cow.
has a tip that I put it in.
Yeah.
Exactly 70 inches. I never seen like that. Because before I bought the bank was a blind deal thing. You couldn't go inside the house. But I would never believe a room was 70 inches ceiling height.
Are you building on top of the current structure, or are you raising everything down and rebuilding?
No, I can't. As the building department, I'm gonna leave the first floor
Okay.
and raise the second floor.
Gotcha.
Take out the second floor and because Christopher, did you see the picture of the height?
I heard, so yeah.
His head is touching the ceiling.
Yeah, okay. And that's part of why, I know that I've been by the structure, I know it's a very small
Yeah.
structure
But it's a
in
great
need of some
area.
rehab, so,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, we used to have shorter people before.
I never thought the building code would allow something like this, back then, but I think it was
More building codes. Good.
That's a jump to say it was ever.
Is there any questions or comments?
Only other comment to the applicant, and it's really, it doesn't phase us. So bedroom number 1 up on your second floor, I noticed there's no closet. I can't remember with ZBA, they always bring up about closet space, so it's something that, something you may want, I think more that they want closet space to make sure,
If you don't.
for a bedroom or bedroom versus office,
If you don't have a closet, it's not a bedroom.
yeah, so, again, it won't change my vote tonight. I just want you to be aware of it when you go to that next step with the ZBA.
Okay.
Bedroom 1, check on whether or not it doesn't show a closet, check if you do need a closet, just so it helps you out.
To you next meeting, like, if
It
you
won't
want
come to us,
yeah.
no, they'll
Okay.
go to the ZBA. I just, again, pointing that out, check with, what do you check with the building
Building
department?
department.
Yeah, check with the building department on that, just to make sure that when you get to the ZBA, it will help you out.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dave, do you have any questions?
No, the only comment I got is, the building code doesn't differentiate the difference between an office or a bedroom because of a closet at all. So the closet doesn't come into, anything. It doesn't matter.
But you should still check with the building department. But, yeah, I think it was in Title V at some point in time that if you had a closet, it's no longer in Title V.
Okay.
About it, but I think that's where it kind of came from.
Okay. Joe?
Not also.
All set? Okay, do we have a motion on this?
Motion to send it favorable to the ZBA.
No second?
Okay. Roll call?
This only is ZBA work.
Yeah. Okay.
I,
Aye.
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 Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Sounds good. I'm on there, right?
Yep, you're all set.
Yes, you are.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Have a good day. Good luck.
Okay, moving on. Item number 7, town meeting potential warrant articles. So discuss that.
Okay, so I put together some draft warrant articles based on things that Liz and I were talking about. One of them, I think it's the first one in your packet, is our, everyone should have a copy of the new bylaws also. Yeah. Everyone a copy of those.
Thank you.
But under section 2.5, our intensity uses, for some reason, our lot widths are wider than our frontages. And mathematically, it doesn't make any sense. So we're curious if we can get the lot widths to match the frontages.
So
The minimum lot width, right.
the
Right.
minimum lot width is the width at the setback line.
Right.
And typically, when you have a width requirement on a lot, it's to square things up, basically. But having that where it's larger actually ends up getting, you end up zigzagging lot lines a lot of time. So I don't know, and plus we have the lot factor.
Yeah, when that was first done, we didn't have the lot factor.
So I mean, I think it makes more sense to have it be the same as the frontage. I wouldn't eliminate it, but.
What are the numbers now?
It's on the next page.
Oh, I'm sorry.
5 and 15, is it?
You got it right there in front of you. Yeah, those are the numbers. The numbers are,
I'm sorry, I thought those,
So the front,
I'm confused.
oh, that's what you're proposing.
Yeah, that's
yes.
the proposed.
The numbers now, one of the width is 80 on RA, 100 in RB, 140 in RC, and 140 in RD. And it's 80 in OR, which doesn't change, and then IB is 250.
So in RA and RB, it's currently 10 feet wider.
Right.
That is weird.
And in RC and RD, which is, I think, where you come across the problem more often, is 20 feet larger.
Right.
Not that we have a whole lot of brand-new subdivisions going in.
Yeah, we're kind of running out of room.
But it's definitely an oddity.
It is. It doesn't make sense.
Well, no, it was, when they did it, it was their way of getting rid of pork chop lots.
Right.
But when we put the shape factor in, we never changed it, which eliminated that to a certain extent anyway, so.
Good
It could have been
explanation.
eliminated at that point, but we didn't.
Thank you for that explanation.
Do you think it should just be eliminated, or do you think you should just change it to be the same?
You
as
could
the
just
front?
eliminate it at this point. It'd probably be easier in the way our bylaw is written, is just to change them, having them the same. But I mean, the whole point of the shape factor was to get rid of the pork chop lots anyway. So I mean, I think although you can define areas in that and still end up with a pork chop if you end up with it, well, this still gives you some form of a lot in the front where it actually faces the road. I mean, I guess, you know, I don't have a problem just changing it to be the same as the frontage.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, again,
I would, I mean, I don't know how much you're gonna gain by doing crazy angles at the front, but I do like the idea of having it be square at the front, especially where you can make, like you said, you can have a separate area be back, so you could have some, again, I don't know how much you would save, but.
yeah,
Again,
I don't think it's going to affect anything too much.
just to be clear, lot width, again, is measured at the setback line. So beyond that line, it can be narrower than
Yes.
stipulated in the width requirements.
But still, a lot has to conform to the shape factor, so you can't have a, you know, it can't get to the setback line and then come to a
And then
eye.
come to a pie, yeah, come to a piece of glass pie.
Well, unless it's big enough.
So does anyone want to make a motion to send this from the selectmen for warrant consideration?
Would we make a recommendation as well at this time?
No, not yet. We have to hold a public hearing.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. That I would recommend that we submit it to the selectmen for the town meeting warrant, for inclusion in the warrant.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor? Roll call.
Aye.
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Aye as well. Unanimous.
All right. Then, second one is the one that Liz talked about at our last meeting, where the Conservation Commission has recently updated their wetlands bylaw to include language. He asked to strike the section at 2.4.8, which is, oh, geez, how is this one? Oh, it's the,
It puts a wetland setback in the zoning bylaw, and I apologize, the commission did at their last meeting agree to have, I was supposed to have a letter prepared and for you guys, and I didn't, I'm sorry. But yes.
Wait, what?
I can certainly get that letter to you immediately, but the Conservation Commission is in favor of this, I guess. It was part of the point, that the Conservation Commission is a better judge of what should and shouldn't be in the setback to a wetland than the ZBA is. And the most often requested variance for this is a pool, which doesn't, especially like an in-ground pool,
Yeah.
but technically, it's a structure.
Oh, it is.
And so, yeah. So it,
Says who?
the building code, I think.
Oh, my goodness.
If-
All right.
so we're looking for a similar recommendation to send to the select board for warrant consideration.
So if I may, the Concom has already changed their bylaw to address, so now this requirement is effectively in two places.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, recommend that this be included in the warrant for the next town meeting. That we recommend to the selectmen that it be included in the warrant.
I'll second that.
Roll call.
Aye.
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 Dave?
Aye.
Aye as well. Unanimous.
And Chris brought up a couple others. I didn't draft these because I wanted to discuss them a little more in detail, but I identified where they are in our bylaws. One of them is section 2.4.7, page 25. So site obstruction fences or walls exceeding 6 feet in height. It's,
Which is really redundant, by the way, because you can't have anything greater than 6 feet in height for a fence. So to say that you can't have it in the front yard setback is anything larger than 6 feet, it's already prohibited. But there's another line in there about 20 feet
20 feet from the street right away.
from the street right of way.
Right.
So it's not quite the same, it's not as intrusive as the setback is in most cases, but I think I think you should be looking at both of those if that's what you're,
Okay, and so both of these. Just wanted to open that for discussion and how you want me to craft this.
Where is it? Which,
2.4.6, page 25, and 2.4.7.
I find these very confusing.
well, like I said, the first,
Grammatically, it makes no sense. No fence or hedge that obstructs vision shall exceed 42 inches in height. How about which obstructs vision shall not continue to obstruct vision? I mean,
well, you have to, so
Depends on how
even,
tall you are.
right, so it's, so.
Never mind.
It depends on how tall you are. The 2.5 feet is the, I'm 30, is that 42 inches? Is that site distance?
30 inches?
30, yeah.
It's 30 inches? I hate inches. So when you're doing site distance calculations, it is from like the height of a person in a car is how it's typically, so that's why that's in there like that. And then they also take into consideration somebody walking down the street, basically. Those are the two, 8 is pretty, like I said, you can't have a fence above 6 feet anyway, so
Right.
to,
So how do we want these to read? That's pretty much my question.
Well, it's you referring to the 8 feet above, it's 8 feet above street grade, but not, that fence could still be 6 feet,
oh, right,
so that's why that's in there.
that makes sense.
What do you want to change it to, Chris?
I need to get some more clarity on it. This was
Yeah,
brought
I
to my
feel like-
attention, and yeah, so I can work with Matt on it and bring it up at the next meeting if that's okay. I just don't want to misspeak on it.
I think one of the things is, or where this has come up in discussions in the office, is corner lots.
Right.
It pretty stringently restricts where they're allowed to have a fence.
And there's a reason for that.
Yeah, I don't know if 20 feet is the right number, I guess. And this, I also don't know how that, I always thought it was, you couldn't have it a 6-foot fence in the front yard. I thought that was how.
You can't, I don't believe you can.
Well, that's not the way this reads. This says, it says you can't have a 6-foot fence
Taller than a 6-foot fence.
taller than a 6-foot fence in the front yard setback, basically. It doesn't say it doesn't say it has to be less than, for the front yard setback, but the 42 inches is the 20 feet in the right of way. It's 20 feet from the right of way. And in most cases, the right-of-way is 10 feet back from the edge of pave. So I guess that would, like I said, in our office conversations, that's sort of been the banter, is whether or not that's appropriate. The 20 feet back from the right-of-way is appropriate.
So, following your lead, how many feet is 42 inches?
42 inches is 3.5 feet.
3.5? Wow. An intersection 2 houses down from me, very busy intersection, has a 6-foot solid fence at the road, almost on the pavement. Very dangerous.
Right.
Right, and
Lee and Lawrence.
but if you, right, so now if you assume, which it is very possible in your neighborhood, that the right-of-way is the edge of pave, they would have to, by these regulations, 20 feet back.
They don't have 20 feet, but to me, they should lower it. It's
So you'd use a lower
it's too
fence,
tall.
which is what you
It
want.
needs to be
Which,
lower.
right, and I'm not suggesting that it should be nothing. I'm just suggesting that 20 feet might be, from the right-of-way, might be excessive.
Excessive, yeah.
That's more than the length of a parking space, so if
But not knowing the conditions the way it is, they can always go for a variance, just like we go for a variance for everything else. At certain locations, it probably is totally appropriate. In other locations, what we have, if we ever upheld them, which we don't, provides us for having adequate sight distance in all locations, and then go for a variance if you have a situation where it's not going to affect anything. My 2 cents.
Yeah, I
Understood.
do think, like, if picturing this situation near my house is, even if it were set back 5 feet, but it is kind of an unusual intersection, the roads are narrow in that area, as in many areas in this community. But again, even if that particular fence were set back 5 feet, you wouldn't have to poke the nose of your car out into the street to see around the corner.
In that case, with that, having a lower fence and having it pushed back would provide you with perhaps adequate sight distance.
Yes.
Or if they wanted to have a fence, you could go with a fence that isn't, I have no idea if this is a stockade type fence or
Right.
not, but you could have something to make sure that you could at least see through it. In which case you could come back and ask for a variance. I'd like to do this, I'd like to do that. And it allows you to do that. But in this, the one thing that I'm worried about, because a lot of our intersections have poor sight distance, it would be nice to have us be able to say something, but that's a story for a different day.
So street intersections, I believe, falls under another section.
Well, there's the rounding and stuff that we have. I don't know how far back that goes. You'd have to take a look.
So if there's no rounding, you still have, there's, I don't know where it is in the regulations, but I'm pretty certain that there's an intersection one that would allow you to, if we were to enforce these regulations, that it would cover that sight distance thing. The other thing I will tell you is we don't require a building permit for a fence. So it's
Fence permit, right?
No.
there's no permit required to put up a fence. So there's no permit required.
And you're not even required to have any type of site or
Land surveying.
land surveying.
No. So when these newer fences happen,
That's a problem.
the people put them up not knowing
Right.
and
Then
have to move the fence.
Yeah.
So, requiring some sort of permit, even if it was, that may be something that you want to include in here. Babe has something to say, I think.
Babe, please.
Yes, I've got no problem with the 6-foot fence but I would not want the 42-inch fence by law to change, because that's strictly a safety bylaw, and it should be in there no matter what. We've never had a problem with it so far, so I don't see any need to change the 42-inch section of the zoning bylaw.
Not even how far, he can't hear me very well, so.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with the 20 feet either.
Okay.
Yeah. I think what I'll do is I'll bring up a couple examples, show them to Matt, we can present to everybody here, and that way to get an idea of what exactly I'm talking about. I just, like I said, I can't speak to it right now, so I don't want to go off on a tangent where I'm not supposed to go.
I'm baffled as to why we wouldn't need a permit for a fence.
I'm with you, Joe.
Because, and also
What you do for a pool.
not requiring a survey, to survey
Say
it.
it too. Yeah.
So you could potentially put it in your neighbor's yard.
Yep.
That's your,
Happens all the time.
your risk. There's
Your
nothing.
risk. Yeah.
It's not a building code issue, so there's nothing
Yeah.
that, we could put it in, say you can't put it, but no one's gonna have a come before us for a site plan to put in a fence. I mean, it's just not gonna happen.
Well, what it does do is when somebody starts putting up a fence, they're
The part about the no permit is a state law.
Okay.
It's not a town thing. That was brought up by the state and put in through the state. That there's no, that's what they did that with no permits for fences and no permit for sheds.
well,
That's a building permit issue.
Right, you could create
That's a
a
state.
fence permit.
That's a state, that's part of
Building
the
permit.
state code.
Yeah, that's the building permit.
the
For a
state,
building,
yeah.
for a building permit, yes.
But you can have a separate fence permit, because there are communities that have so.
Yes.
Because it's just, you put it in your zoning bylaw, and then you need a permit.
Yeah, I agree, not a building permit, but a fence permit. Yeah,
And
separate process.
I don't think requiring a land surveying plot plan for every fence is the right way to go,
Right.
because that's
Right.
excessive.
Right. No, I agree.
But I don't, I feel like, I feel like having something probably makes sense, but
I don't know, that's big
Written
big
agreement
enough issue
between
that
neighbors.
Yeah,
we're gonna get into. I mean, most of the fence companies won't put a fence up unless they have some level of control to know where the property line is. Because they're not coming back to do it for free. So in most cases, unless they can see boundaries, they'll tell the guy, have a surveyor come out and locate it, but, I mean, that's between the owner and the fence company as far as I'm concerned. I
Okay.
don't think we want to get in the middle of that. I don't know that we'd have the time to get in the middle of that.
So one of the other ones that Chris brought up is section 3.2.5. He was asking about food trucks. And I believe that's trailers by definition and according to our zoning bylaw. If that's
I'm not touching, I have no,
Yes.
Yeah.
to touch that one, especially not for this town meeting.
Yeah, so,
I mean, that needs to be some discussions that we need to put on, and there has to be a little more thought with multiple boards here to go through that, as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
So if you want to do that, I have no problem doing that, I just don't want to
Right.
rush that one.
I don't want to rush it either. I just don't want to keep kicking it down the road, right? And I feel like we did last time. I got a lot of pushback from the last, town planner. We got a new town planner here, so I feel like, I can work with on this one. So that's why, Joe. And I know, obviously, there's going to be other boards that need to be involved with Board of Health. Right, is going to be the key factor in this, and to let them know. If by the next meeting, I can, meet with them, get some things going, I would hope that
Yeah, I'd
we
like
can
to
have a discussion without, again, because if I just kick this right down to the fall town meeting, again, we're just pushing it down. So I at least get the conversation going now. If for some reason we don't get there, I'm more than happy to pull back on this, but I at least would like
Give it a
to
shot.
get a shot right now.
I think,
So you'll
And I'll
work
own
with
it.
Matt to
Yeah.
get it on an agenda when
I mean, I
you're ready?
think Larry's comments were appropriate, but on a certain, and I'd like those to be addressed, in that we're charging restaurants a very high commercial rate to
Right.
be in the town of Milford,
Yeah.
and for somebody to walk in with a food truck and sell food.
Right.
How do we address that? I think
Right.
that needs to be addressed.
So and I've had conversations with the Board of Health and other departments on this, and that is not, that those have been taken into consideration, and there are ways to address them.
Right.
The Board of Health has ideas on that. The current, I don't know what our name, what our title is, that runs the health agent, health director, thank you.
Director of Public Health.
She came from, she was previously in Worcester and did a lot with food trucks and the regulations regarding it. So they're definitely open to coming to a meeting, and that's what, if that's what you guys would like to see.
Perfect, that's good experience to bring to the table.
And I certainly think that although I've said this before, I think the building department or the zoning enforcement officer, it makes sense for John to be here, since whatever goes into the zoning bylaw has to be
Enforceable.
enforced by him, and so to make sure that it's an enforceable thing.
That might almost be a night unto itself.
Maybe.
Also, council's been involved in this in the past. I'm not saying we invited them to the meeting, but they're under the impression that the way it reads now, they are not allowed in town, period.
That's correct.
But we have them.
Yeah.
Because when the Lions Club
Yes.
does, of course.
Celebrate Milford, the
So-
Lions Club events, yeah.
So
let's.
it's ridiculous to keep it the way it is,
Yeah,
but
right.
yes, I completely, like, a lot of the points that Larry brought, I was completely, no, I was surprised, I was surprised that I agreed with, yeah, I guess, I was like, oh, I hadn't thought of that.
I think there's a dynamic that needs to be addressed, and maybe the Board of Health has it, maybe she does. There certainly needs to be a dynamic when Lions Club does it on a single day and that's it, and then they're gone.
Right.
It's a different story when someone decides they want to come in 7 days a week and be in a
Park
food
at Louis
truck,
Lake or whatever.
and yeah, whatever
Right,
it is. And
exactly.
so how is that addressed? I'm not against them, I'm
Right.
not, you know, it
Yep.
wasn't, but I think those things need to be addressed. I think it needs to be addressed so that when our restaurant owners come before us, we can say, hey, this is how we did, we knew you had an issue, we believe you have the, you know, that's appropriate to have those types of issues, and this is how we try to address it, and that's why I said it. And that's
No,
why
I agree with you
do
on
it
that.
way.
Yeah, there's definitely some gray area that we got to make sure that we define black and white on it, and make sure that we don't hurt local businesses, but we also allow for fundraising style events to go on.
And it could be more than that, maybe they come once a week, I don't care, but whatever that is, we need to make sure that it's addressed, how we address it. I don't know what goes
And
on.
we also want to make sure that we don't have the taco wagon or whatever it was that kind of brought this about. You don't want, like, we actually had somebody come in because they, and ask about putting basically a food truck in the parking lot permanently.
Yeah.
And they were proposing that because they knew that food trucks weren't allowed, and so that, you know, we explained that that's, but.
Okay.
In the last section, you brought up the ADU requirements for requiring site plan review. So that's, Mr. Manini obviously doesn't want it with the planning board, and
Yeah.
we brought it to town meeting last time because the ADU recommended it. Just not sure how we feel about it now. Is that something we want to change? Is that something we want to keep? Where do we want to go with that? And that's section 3.19.1.
So I would say similarly, that's not something I would probably try to deal with at this town meeting, but it might be something worth discussing, just because I think the biggest reason that it didn't, I think town council didn't have time to
Right.
to consider what what Babe proposed at the, as an amendment at the town meeting. But as you can see from the ADU we had today, what are we really looking at?
Right.
So, and the AG didn't say you can't, that you, the way that, what the AG said is, it was a very lawyerly way of writing around what regulations were there to be able to say, you still need a site plan. Like, it wasn't really straightforward, so I think, but I do think that that's something that needs to be, I don't see it happening for this town meeting. That's just my opinion. I don't know how you feel about it, Chris.
I think, I will kick this can down the road. You know, I mean, but it just showed tonight, right? There was ADU was presented to us, and it really was just checking boxes off that they had the parking spot and they had the offsets.
Yeah.
There's really not much else we
No,
had on,
that
and,
would-
you know, the water departments determine the water line, the sewer departments determine the sewer side, right? So, you know, are we just that agency that makes sure that they're doing all of those things, but it goes right back to John in the building department anyways, that he's not gonna issue an occupancy permit unless he knows that, so. So we're checking a box that really is, in a sense, irrelevant.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't see, there is no other agency in this town that seems to combine all of those to make sure they're there. That's the only reason why.
Right.
And it is just checking a box. Did they
Yeah.
go to the sewer department? Did they go to the water department? Did they show the parking? Okay,
Right.
we're done. But unfortunately, I'm not convinced that anybody else does that. And at the end of the day, it's on them, not on us. I'm just trying to be somewhat proactive to them so they don't get halfway down the thing and then we find out, oh, you can't put the sewer line in that way, it has to go this way.
That's
Well,
my
you never
point.
checked. I mean,
That's the point with for me, that's the same point with the fence.
Right.
I think it makes sense to try and help protect people. I don't,
Yes.
Unfortunately, I've never been a fan of protecting people from themselves, but that's who we are and
Right.
that's what we're doing, but. I mean, the other thing is that people's recourse, unfortunately, when they happen is, oh, I did it, can you just excuse me and let me go ahead, as opposed to doing it right the first time. So if we catch them up front, it gets done right, otherwise we get people, maybe not in front of us, maybe it's in front of the sewer board, maybe it's in front of the water department, of saying, well, can I do it this way now, because I already did it? So, I guess that's the...
Instead of permission, yeah, we don't want that. But we need to let the residents know how to accomplish what they're trying to do through the proper channels.
I don't feel strongly about it either way, I guess. But it's definitely, I think that the site plan review would really be almost entirely to protect the people proposing them.
applicants, yeah.
There's really nothing, we're not doing anything to protect the town, really.
Yeah.
Because it's the zoning, it's the building department's job to make sure that that stuff's done.
So I would say administratively, going over 3.9.1 and bouncing around back and forth between the sections that are allowed and not allowed was annoying to me, but I got it done in like 30, 40 minutes or so. But
So that should take no time for a resident to figure out.
fortunately, we had a good application from a good engineer, so they put the package together, and I didn't really have any comments on it, so everything was good. But we get one that's more confusing, and that could be an issue. But that was bouncing around like that is not the way these things are supposed to be. They're supposed to be a lot easier than that.
That's what I think. It's very lawyerly.
Yeah.
Babe, do you have any comments on that?
No,
None of you wants to share. publicly.
Is there any others now?
No, that was all of them, I think.
What about,
We have to do the,
Oh, yeah.
in the fall, hopefully we may be able to, the parking ones that we had talked about,
Oh, yeah?
and for redevelopment, showing what people are gonna take up for access when they do redevelopment, things like that, so we don't get
Oh.
into a situation like,
The rear parking lots.
yeah, the rear parking and the
down there,
car
the
wash.
car wash?
The car wash and the amount of space they've taken up and the amount of time
Oh,
that's
yeah.
taken.
Yeah.
We have no protection for the town in those situations, so we need to take a look at that. But that'll take a little more time than,
Phased construction plan.
the phase construction.
Oh, I meant to ask that about 225 West, but we'll bring that up next time, because phased.
Yeah, that, I mean, it's not,
Yeah. So,
It's-
and we need to perhaps write that in the decision, but they're starting from the back parking lot. They don't need to change anything per se, so we've got to make sure that and I would assume that, again, in the deed, it should show up, but they can't use any of that property for storage of equipment while they're building or any of that stuff. It's not allowed, but I don't think that would be, but we should just make sure.
Mr. Chair, just since we're on town meeting and bylaws, I guess one that we may want to consider, again, for the future, not necessarily this one, is do we need to consider walkways for ADUs? So what we saw tonight, there wasn't any walkway. And I also wondered, as I was thinking about it, how does that kind of work with ADA compliance? So, someone's building or having a structure, right, that is to rent. There's no way there's no way from someone that, would need any type of ADA access to go from that designated parking spot to that front door.
I don't know that you're
I
required.
don't know if you're not required to or not, but I don't know. But in any case,
Babe, does building code address access to a single-family unit? Does there have to be a accessible route shown or accessible route available or anything?
The ADA only requires that the parking spot be as close as possible
Wouldn't be an ADA.
to the,
yeah.
to the ramp or the doors.
Yeah,
It doesn't require any walkway or special roadway.
no, I know that. But
Commercial, right?
does building code have anything about access to a building?
For a single
No,
family,
they don't.
for a single family house.
The building code just requires whatever the ABA requires on the,
Yeah.
on that.
They're not,
They don't,
the ADA, there's no
there's not a
requirement.
separate, there's not a separate, section for,
You can't.
handicap
do ADA for a
accessibility.
single-family unit anyways,
Right.
Right.
so that wouldn't cover it.
And the ABA is a law.
Can you check, can you
Which would
check
be in a
with
rental
John
property,
and
but-
ask him? Because I can't believe there's nothing in there that says
I was just surprised.
there isn't something that's shown for access. I mean,
So,
or fire code for that matter.
yeah, I'll definitely check with the chief on access from the fire
Yeah.
standpoint.
Because you're right, Chris, we should, I mean, we can't make it ADA accessible, that's not part of any code. But there should be some mechanism to make sure you're not,
Shoveling the
walking through
lawn,
mud in order to get to somebody's.
Right.
or shoveling the lawn in a
Yeah.
2-foot snowstorm.
Yeah, I mean, I think requiring pavement might be a little too much, but
At least they,
at least a gravel.
because I know, obviously, word or term impervious, right, is going to be, in a sense, a trigger. We don't want that, but we want some level of
A walkway's not
walkway.
enough.
I know, but
Well-
it's just, yeah,
Unless the house is
yeah.
very far from the.
Correct. Yeah. But again, it's
You
just
may as
something to
well-
consider.
You may as well add a mailbox. I mean, what do you do with that?
Yeah.
But, so,
The health department is having enough
Yep.
issue with whether or not they're allowed to have their own trash barrels.
Oh,
The ADU thing is very,
Well, the state didn't think about the actual, implications. Oh, this is a great idea, let's just do this.
Right.
What are the issues? Oh, who cares?
Well,
Right.
they'll figure it out.
Figure it out.
We'll reverse engineer it later. Yeah.
Well, I mean, in a certain sense, yeah, they should have their own, but they need to make sure they tax the property appropriately. It's a two-family now, for all practical purposes.
But it's not.
Well, it is.
It is, but it doesn't get taxed as one.
Well, it should be, the property value should definitely increase enough such that, I mean, we'll never make the money back, because the state never realized this, but if there's nothing that stops you from having students in a unit that size, students or children, I should say. If those children go to public school, it's a money loser. It's so.
Every house is.
Every house.
But I'm just saying, it is another house, so it's going to be a money loser.
Yeah.
If it were for, the state also, so your parents can move in, and that doesn't happen, well, then, in that case, you could come out ahead in the money game. But the way it's written, it's a money loser. And the state's going down the path of, we're not even going to reimburse you as much next year as they are this year, so it's going to be a big money loser.
That's only partial truth.
No, they won't be close.
Got a long way to go to get
They
there.
won't be close.
Is that,
The total dollar value, but the amount per student is.
Oh, no, well,
It's-
I'm talking about total for the town. I'm
Yes.
talking about how much comes from state. It's not going to be anywhere near what it has been.
okay, any more discussion on that item? Yes, sir. Or can we move on? Okay. Let's get into item 9, Planning Board Rules and Regulations.
I'm sorry,
I have
site
one right above that.
inspections?
Site inspections discussion.
Sorry about
Joe
that.
asked me to ask council if we could add to our applications the ability to perform inspections as the application is, or be able to access the people's property as they submit their applications. And I asked council about that, and he doesn't want to touch that at all, because you're getting into private property rights with people, and it's like, you gotta ask them for permission to be on their property in any rate. So we can't just put on their application that we are allowed to then be on your
Give the right to
property.
go.
We need to ask their permission. So
Wow.
that's not something we could put on an application.
Can we put
Are
something?
we asking them permission as part of,
Yeah, so that's.
that's what we're asking, isn't it?
I think.
So if we put it on the application to say that if by signing this, you give us the right to access your property,
Yeah.
that's not something that we can do.
We can't,
Then they don't have to sign it.
we can't do it with
We have a
within a certain
checkbox.
amount of with 3 days' notice or something.
We can always ask them if we can access their property to perform an inspection, but we have to ask them. We have to have.
So what we're saying is, you can submit a plan. Until you come here, we're not going to do a damn thing. You're going to have to sign it that day, because we're going to ask you if we can access your property, so we can have the town engineer go out and look to see what's actually out there.
We can ask them while we get the application administratively. If we need to perform a site walk, we can ask them.
So
It
you
doesn't have to come to the board first for us to ask.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
It was more of a legal thing. I mean, to me, it's
Yeah.
less of a legal thing to have it up front than to say, oh, we got to make sure we do it. But I would then say that when they submit it, you should say, if we have to look at something, we're going to need to access your property, do we have the right to do that? As part of the
That's just it. We
application.
have to ask, do we have the right to do that?
So that's
something
why,
that we can do.
I hate to nitpick, but
Yeah.
what if you had a checkbox on the application, yes or no, we give you permission to be on the property? That way that is us asking them, we're giving them the right to say no,
That's not a bad idea.
but it'd
I'll ask that question.
be a little.
Yeah, now, are we talking like while it's under construction, while
No,
site work
before-
is
no,
going on?
No, we're
Or
doing.
At any time in the
No, we have it
future?
as part of site plan review. we do.
While it's under construction, they are required
Yeah.
to allow us, because you've given them
So are we
A
asking
decision.
for permission in time immemorable?
No, when they submit the site
When they
plan.
submit it, and if you guys have questions and you want me to go out to a site,
Yeah.
You don't have any rights to go
I
on the
don't
property.
have the right to
That's
go
a problem.
onto the property unless I call them up and say, hey.
Hey,
Right.
could we please?
Makes sense.
Yeah,
So,
I like the checkbox, then they're either granting or not, and if they say no, it's curious.
Well, when they come to a meeting and our engineer hasn't been able to go out, it's going to be very hard for us to approve their plan.
Delays, won't it?
Yes.
So it would be to allow a agent of the planning board access to the property? So it could be a member or it could be one of us? Okay. I'll ask council that. Okay.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right.
All right. We got the planning board rules and regulations.
So everyone read this? So,
Okay, major
I know Mr. Manini gave me some comments already, and I haven't added them to this draft yet, but one of them was the dates of the meetings. It's on here as the second and fourth Tuesday, but it should be the first and third. And the other one,
Be happy to go back to the second.
the other one was, it was, the number of copies of plans. We're gonna be asking for 10 full-size sets because, I don't know, the sewer department needs a full-size set. I was like, can we add that, make that 3?
Yeah.
The other departments need full-size sets. Which ones do, which ones don't?
So, my recommendation would be that you reach out to the departments and find out what they want, because I tell you right now, the building department does not want full-size set.
Okay.
They don't want even a small set. They want a digital copy.
Okay.
The Board of Health also does not need they don't want a full-size set either. Either a reduced or possibly an electronic is fine with them. As with regard to the others, I haven't had specific discussions with the other departments, so I don't know. I certainly like to have one large set for planning and engineering. And clearly the sewer department wants a full-size set, which I think is understandable. I don't know about, but I would just say we should reach out to each of the departments, find out what they want.
Yeah, I mean,
Because right now,
hopefully at some point we'll move into totally digital, to be totally honest.
right now we get so many copies that just get thrown away.
The paper, On meeting procedure, item B, should we stipulate that sometimes the quorum is 4? It's not really a quorum though, is it? When, for the special permits and such, where 4 votes are needed?
A quorum to hold the meeting is 3.
Yeah.
But special permit supermajority would be 4. I could add some language in here about that, but I think it's already under special permits of our zoning
Probably
bylaw.
so, probably so.
Yeah, and you wouldn't want to convolute it, because you can have a meeting and just not have,
Be able to vote that particular, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, I think the wording is correct, now that I think about it, because it's more how many are needed to vote, as opposed to how many constitute the quorum.
Right.
yeah, it's 2 different procedures. But excellent work through.
It was, a little mental exercise I was going through
I'm a big
and
fan.
resolved it myself.
I did pull these together from regulations from 5 other communities, and I just kind of took and
Oh,
put the best ones in. So the ones that are highlighted in yellow are for discussion.
yeah.
On page 4, what are the odds of this town ever adopting the Mullen Rule?
Well, having been out of business for a while, it reminds me.
Mullen Rule is so that if you, during a public hearing, you miss one of the meetings,
Oh, yes.
but then you can read the minutes or watch the video and sign a Mullen Rule,
Yeah.
and still participate in the vote, but only miss one, as if it's continued.
Can you do it so that it's only by video and not by reading the meeting?
It's either one, it's the law.
Oh.
It's either one.
Because I would be totally fine with watching a video. Obviously, you get everything.
And most of the time, the minutes aren't even produced yet, so, yeah, the
Right.
video, absolutely. But either one, it's by video or written, either one.
Okay.
But that has to be something that we adopt at town meetings. And have to kind of poll the other boards and commissions to see if
The town has to do it.
Yeah, it has to be towns.
Town-wide.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. Not in the foreseeable future.
Right.
Does it affect other boards?
Yes, it would affect every board, everyone.
Yeah, but I mean, do other boards have different, I'm going to say quorum requirements?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like
As we
ZBA.
do, I mean, where we need 4 to do a special permit.
Yep, ZBA does for special permits and variances, they need 4.
So they need 4 for everything they do.
Yeah.
Okay. Whereas we need 3 to hold a meeting, but 4 to do certain things. Is there any other board where the quorum requirement and the requirement for specific votes are different?
I don't know if licensing is the same for the selectmen, but I know for conservation, it's 3 of 5 for everything, right? NOIs,
I don't
NRES,
know if there's anything
any of
else.
those.
It's 4 out
Oh,
of
7.
7.
7, sorry. Yeah.
Which,
Yeah, it's a majority vote, it's a majority vote for sewer, it's a
but
majority vote for water.
it's I would say with conservation is probably the most difficult to, because of the 7, we don't typically have all 7 at a meeting. So if one person misses this meeting and then it comes back a month later and a different person is there, like, we typically have 4 people
Out of 7?
out of 7. So, but it's not always the same 4 people. So it just, I mean, but we do most of our stuff in one meeting, I would say, generally.
So if it goes 2 and one of those people doesn't show,
Right.
they can't vote.
You can't vote,
Right,
right.
and then that application is dead in the water. That would be awful.
That's the board that I think is it's the most problematic with.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been that problematic with them either.
If it's the pleasure of the board, I could at least explore this with council and see if it's something that we'd be interested in submitting a warrant article for. It's not something we have to hold a public hearing for, but it's consideration for the warrant anyway.
I'm gonna,
Oh, we lost him.
Matt,
It wasn't my fault.
you know, I'm a little fussy about wording, sorry, but I'm gonna take a stab at that second sentence. After the highlighting,
Yep.
to rework that a little bit.
Yeah, so that's the way it reads right now.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah,
because we
I-
haven't accepted the Mullen rule, they have to be in attendance for all the dates of this public hearing and to be eligible to vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it is
It
right
did-
now. If we
There's a
do,
better way to word it, I just can't do it off the cuff.
okay. If we do accept the Mullen rule, then the entire wording of this paragraph would change.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I agree, it's unlikely.
Yeah. So, go on to the next page.
I got a question on that.
Sure.
Go ahead, Dave.
Does the Zoom meeting count as
You're in
a
attendance.
presence at the meeting?
Yes, it does. Absolutely.
So that would make it a lot easier if they continue, because for a while I was away working nights. I know Joe made a special point to come from Toronto, but he was there for years. And I just want to make sure, as long as we have the Zoom meetings and they're counted as participants, it's really that's not much of a problem.
Right.
It's considered where it wouldn't be.
Right. Attendance includes Zoom as well, as long as you're part and present for the meeting. Absolutely. Yep. So on the next page, and we talked about in-house engineering review, 53E and a half. Talked to council about this briefly, and it's like introducing change, and they just kind of push back a little bit, you know?
No,
So it's
stop.
kind of a thing. So I have the consultant review in there, which is obviously an option that we can have at some point. If Liz is too busy to do an application review, send it out for consultant services that paid for by the applicant. That's typical, it's normal. But the in-house engineering review is the one, like this 225 West. I don't know if Liz is tracking her hours and what she's going to do on this. We might get an idea of how much time she's putting into it, so we can consider this section. But for now, I don't know if we'll put it in yet. We could always amend these at a later date, whatever we want to do. Page 6. putting together our application forms. So we don't have specific applications for assisted living facility or parking reductions. There's the same special permit application, right? So I don't have to separate those out, I don't think. It's the same application. So I could just strike B and C and just call that special permit application. Just the other towns had a bunch of different special permits, earth removal and all sorts of things, so I just listed those because those are our two different ones.
Do we have a planning board special permit application?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's in general, so they just put the section on there that they're applying for.
Do we have a separate site plan review waiver?
Yeah, we do. I've since corrected it on the forms. It said amendment and waiver, and then we had a waiver one also, but I
Oh, okay.
removed amendment and waiver, so it's just amendment now.
Because Larry never allowed waivers.
Yeah, so there is its own waiver form that I don't think people will be applying for anytime soon, so we'll see. But it does exist, and it is in our forms.
Did you put it on, is it on the website?
Yeah.
Okay. We have that.
This is, I didn't add any of the appendices because obviously you guys know what these things are. They're just items that we have, the permit application, petition, permit time, all that stuff. So, I guess if you want some more time to go over some of these things, I can make the amendment to change the full-size plans after I ask the departments and submit that at our next meeting. Did I say apartments? Departments. Sorry. And then go over the Mullen Rule piece with council, if that's something they want to consider for, and then the in-house engineering review. Maybe Liz and I can have a conversation with council based on how much hours you put into West Street, and then we'll figure it out from there. But is there any other questions about the rules and regs?
The second paragraph under section 4.
What page?
Application for comprehensive permit.
What page?
7.
So, okay.
Planning staff will send the case materials to the planning board.
Oh, that's kind of weird. Yeah.
Like, I would say, I don't, sometimes I receive stuff from ZBA, sometimes I don't. And in a lot of cases, because those are larger developments, the engineering review is done by a peer reviewer, so that doesn't seem necessary, I guess, but.
It just seemed like the other comprehensive permits, they treated it like a ZBA referral where they asked the planning board for their opinion on the matter, so I was just trying to include that somehow. I don't think that,
Yeah, and we've actually done, for most of those, we've done very little. We send almost nothing to the ZBA. Which I'm not saying is right, but.
so I was reading the last comprehensive permits and they did come here for a recommendation from us.
Yeah.
I don't think they took it, but
For which one?
the Beaver Street.
Yeah, Beaver Street we brought some, at some point they did, but I mean, we get stuff relatively early, and then I don't ever remember stuff coming back after there's been requests for changes.
Right, we get it first look, and then it gets modified, and we don't see it again.
Yeah.
Right. That's what it looked like to me. This was like 2023 or something like that.
I guess I would just say it doesn't seem worth to have that paragraph in there, but it's just me.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's somewhat out of our control, unfortunately. It's controlled by the ZBA, so I don't know that we can.
Maybe we just, keep the first paragraph, because case materials could be anything that they have, comp permit, special permit variance, or whatever. If they want to send it to us for our review, we'll just keep the first paragraph. Okay, and strike the second one. Sounds good. Any other comments?
He's still there, but I don't know why I can't see that he's still there.
All right, I'll have this cleaned up for next meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. The next item of business, 10, town planner updates,
I don't have any other updates, sir.
town engineer updates.
Town engineer update?
Oh, I'm sorry, no, I have no, nothing.
Okay. Chairman updates. Babe, you have anything?
None.
Okay.
No, I hope, the March meeting, I hope to be back for the March meeting, so.
We
Awesome.
hope so too, babe.
We hope so too, yeah. Okay. How about member updates? Okay. Next meeting to be determined. Next meeting, we already decided.
March 3rd and
March 3rd.
17th.
3rd and 17th. Okay. What's the pleasure of the board?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Good.
What a pair.
Roll call.
You would have said that a half hour ago.
Roll call.
Aye.
Yes, I.
Babe?
Hey.
Okay, aye, unanimous. Thank you. We'll see you at the next meeting.
No,